Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Some clouds around this morning and a small chance of showers later today. I'll show you who is most likely to see some rain.
And all lanes of I-95 are back open after a deadly tractor-trailer crash there. This fiery crash kept the interstate closed until 1 a.m.
Plus, a decision happening today that could allow your high school athletes in North Carolina to make money off their name, image, and likeness.
And we give you this live look right now. Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, where in just a few hours, the 2024 NFL season will officially begin with the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Baltimore Ravens. All the hype surrounding opening night headed our way. We'll get you all the information you need to know on this Thursday, a hype Thursday here as we get started. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. A lot of hype for our cooler temperatures. Those are sticking around, but we also have chances for rain today. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner walks us through what we can expect.
It's a bit cloudy out there for us this morning. We have a small chance of some showers starting around lunchtime, lingering into the early part of the afternoon. We're not likely to see much out of this. This is a look at this morning, and you can see just a little bit of light patchy rain that shows up across our area. And then into the afternoon, it's mainly over, and we may actually see a bit more sunshine once we get to around the evening commute. So this is just going to be a quick disturbance that rolls through today. Our best chance of rain comes on Saturday, and we'll take a closer look at that coming up. Taking a look down Salem Street, it's quiet, but a little cloudy. It's the dew point's crept up a little bit. It's still in the nice zone, but you may notice a difference from this time yesterday. And our temperatures are in the mid-60s, looking at low to mid-60s across the area. 64 in Goldsboro, 66 Durham, 65 in Southern Pines. Hour by hour, we're going to take it up to mid-70s at lunchtime and another day in the upper 70s for highs this afternoon.
At 1 o'clock this morning, all lanes of I-95 reopened. This tractor-trailer fire had them closed for hours. The driver of the tractor-trailer died in that crash. It happened in Cumberland County in the northbound lanes right near the I-295 interchange. This was about 7:30 last night. State Highway Patrol says a tire malfunction caused the tractor-trailer to hit the highway barrier. One of its fuel tanks exploded, resulting in that huge fire.
The big ball of fire was just insane. I would say about 16 foot high, coming off the front of the trailer. You know, cab was kind of disappeared or not there anymore. You know, it was massive.
At quite a scene, authorities have not released the name of that driver who died.
Breaking news out of Sampson County. 2 people are dead after a crash near Clinton. This is video of where the crash happened on Boykin Bridge Road. Troopers tell us they responded to the crash right after 7:30 last night. Investigators were on the scene for nearly 5 hours. We're working to learn the names of the people who died and how the crash happened.
Today, we'll find out if your student athlete can make money from their name, image, and likeness in high school. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from Cary High School. And Kelsey, the State Board of Education is going to vote on this issue today.
Jeff, they will, and we're just hours away from finding out if student athletes' work here on the field could eventually lead to some money in their pockets. Now, under these proposed rules, student athletes would be allowed to do activities like paid appearances, product endorsements, and autograph signings. 38 other states have already adopted a rule that allows student athletes to make money off of their name, image, and likeness. But it does have some exceptions. One of the most notable is this. A school cannot use an NIL deal as a recruiting tool. Here's WRAL sports investigative reporter Brian Murphy.
I would imagine some top recruits may be able to command, big contracts or big endorsement deals to sign autographs or with trading card companies and the like. But for the majority of high school athletes, I don't know that this is going to have a huge impact on their lives.
So you can think about what's happening today as a preliminary vote. Then from there will be a period for public comment for a few months. After that, there will be a final vote. So this rule wouldn't actually go into effect until July of next year. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
There'll be no school today or tomorrow in Barrow County, Georgia. Instead, counselors will be available for students and staff after the tragic high school shooting there. We're learning more about the people who died in that shooting at Appalachia High School. 2 14-year-old students and 2 math teachers were killed. 9 other people, 8 students and a teacher, were also shot. They are expected to survive. The accused shooter is 14 years old. He was booked late last night and will be charged as an adult. The city where the shooting happened is a small community, fewer than 20,000 people. Hundreds came together to mourn at a vigil last night. Law enforcement says the shooter is identified as Colt Gray. He used an AR-style weapon. According to the FBI, he was interviewed by local law enforcement last year over online threats to commit a school shooting. Authorities say there was no probable cause for his arrest at that time.
Parents here in North Carolina say they are taking a closer look at safety measures in their children's schools after the Georgia shooting. Johnson County Schools is one of the few school systems in the state that regularly uses weapons detection systems. One parent says she appreciates the precautionary measure.
I don't know that it gives me a peace of mind, but it makes me thankful that they are thinking about it, and that I hate that my child has to have it.
Wake County Public Schools recently added a clear bag policy for events, an anonymous reporting app, and the Rave Panic Button app. Last month, school leaders talked about creating a real-time security center to help respond to security issues more quickly.
The search for a man accused of shooting 2 people in Granville County is entering a second day now. This is Andre Jones. A caller told dispatchers her child's father came in and shot her several times in her upper body and leg. EMS crews also responded to another victim who had been shot at a nearby corner store. The sheriff says Jones should be considered armed and dangerous.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he will not withdraw troops from the Egypt-Gaza border, even as protests in his country demanding a ceasefire deal are growing more hostile. Israelis took to the streets for a 4th night last night. They want Netanyahu to make the concessions needed to reach a deal that will allow for the release of the remaining hostages. In a defiant news conference last night, Netanyahu said Gaza needs to be demilitarized. He says that can only happen if the corridor remains under firm Israeli control.
Your time is 4:37 this morning. I'm Chris Lovingood in the WRAL Live Center with just a tragic update. An Olympic athlete dies just days after her boyfriend is accused of setting her on fire. This right here is that person, Rebecca Cheptegei. She's a Ugandan Olympian who died overnight, actually. Her boyfriend, again, accused of dousing her in petrol on Sunday, and that happened over an apparent dispute over land. Authorities in northwest Kenya, where this happened, say that she was targeted on her way home from church. She was taken to the hospital, and again, she died at the age of 33.
Just absolutely horrible. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen will be in Raleigh today. She plans to highlight how she says President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris are keeping energy costs down as much as possible. Secretary Yellen will tour and make her remarks at Wake Tech. WRAL will have a news crew there, and we'll have reports at noon and on our news beginning at 4.
The 2024 NFL season kicks off tonight with the Baltimore Ravens taking on the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. You can catch all the action right here on WRAL, coverage starting at 7 p.m. and kickoff at 8:20.
Coverage of the start of NFL season continues this morning on Today. Craig Melvin will be live at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City this morning. He will talk to Mike Tirico live for insights on tonight's big matchup.
NC State students, faculty, and staff could get the results of a health investigation into Poe Hall within the next few weeks. Poe Hall was closed last November after cancer-causing chemicals were found in the building. During a virtual meeting last week, NC State's executive vice chancellor said 30 years worth of documents has been turned over to CDC investigators doing a health hazard evaluation. They expect the results this semester. The evaluation can determine the potential effects of PCBs found in Poe Hall, but cannot require NC State to take any action.
High-speed internet access is expanding in North Carolina with the new project breaking ground in Lee County. A groundbreaking event today will recognize MCNC's Hero Project. The nonprofit works to bring high-speed internet access to rural and economically challenged areas. The community is invited to Central Carolina Community College in Sanford from 11 to 1 today to learn more about the project.
A pilot made a quick decision after a flight attendant found something alarming written in the bathroom. What she found that caused the flight to be diverted and the FBI to meet them at the gate.
And fans and teammates are remembering the lives of NHL star Johnny Gaudreau and his brother.
This is a heartbreak that words alone cannot heal.
Video running.
How the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Calgary Flames honored the player and the memories they shared of him.
Also give you this live look over North Hills here this morning. It'll be cloudy to start your day with some areas seeing some showers, spotty. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will time that all out for us next.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:43. We do have a chance of showers today, mostly right around lunchtime, and it will be light if you happen to see them. But a lot of folks may not even see the showers that we'll be in for today. We have mostly cloudy skies for this morning. There may be a few holes in the clouds here and there. Town by town temperatures are on the mild side for today, looking at low to mid 60s, pretty close to where we were this time yesterday. 64 in Tarboro, 65 Irwin, 66 degrees in Goldsboro. Walking the dog this morning, you'll be dry, but if you happen to be home around lunchtime, definitely looking at that potential for just an isolated shower or two, and our highs this afternoon feeling much like they did yesterday in the upper 70s. Tomorrow should be on the dry side, but our best chance of rain this week will come on Saturday. I'll walk you through the timeline coming up in just a few minutes.
Elizabeth, thanks. And American Airlines made a quick decision to divert a flight after a flight attendant found a bomb threat written inside the plane's bathroom. The plane was flying from New Jersey to Texas yesterday morning. FBI agents say a flight attendant noticed someone had scrawled, "There is a bomb on board," inside the bathroom with a pink pen. Pilot was told about the threat. He made the decision to divert the plane to Pittsburgh International Airport. The FBI says they questioned everyone and did search the belongings of the last two people to use that bathroom, but did not find a pink pen.
A Florida doctor is being investigated after being accused of removing the wrong organ during a recent surgery. That resulted in the death of an Alabama man. 70-year-old William Bryan died August 21st when his liver was removed during an operation that was intended to remove his spleen. His widow, Beverly, is now demanding accountability. According to a report from the hospital, Dr. Thomas Shaknovsky was identified as the primary surgeon in the case, and the family's lawyer says hospital documents show when the organ was sent to the hospital's pathologist, they told the doctor he had taken out the liver instead of the spleen. The sheriff's office is now investigating.
The NHL community is remembering the life of Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew. The Columbus Blue Jackets held a candlelight vigil last night outside Nationwide Arena, where Johnny played the last two seasons. There was a silent remembrance held for 13 minutes, 21 seconds. 13 is the number Johnny wore with the Blue Jackets and Calgary Flames. 21 is the number that Matthew wore at Boston College. Johnny's teammates shared memories of him.
Something that I'll very dearly miss. I had this little thing with John where I'd pick him up and give him a bear hug. And I wouldn't let him down until he told me he loved me.
A candlelight vigil was also held outside of Scotiabank Saddle Dome in Calgary last night. Johnny played for the Flames for 9 seasons. The Gaudreau brothers were riding bikes on a New Jersey roadway last week when they were hit and killed by a suspected drunk driver. 43-year-old Sean Higgins has been charged with 2 counts of vehicular homicide.
Another congressional funding deadline is approaching. Lawmakers return to Capitol Hill next week and have just 13 days to agree on a budget ahead of the October deadline. Sources close to the process say House Speaker Mike Johnson plans to bring legislation to the floor in the first few days of the session. Democrats warn the legislation will be a non-starter if any controversial bills are attached to it.
Vice President Kamala Harris's presidential nomination has brought South Asian and Asian American representation to a ticket for the first time. Her biracial story of a Jamaican father and Indian mother is sparking cultural pride among supporters of South Asian descent. The executive director of the nonpartisan group North Carolina Asian Americans Together says she's seen a surge of AAPI voters wanting to volunteer.
We also had the largest number of South Asian women reach out to volunteer with us right after Kamala Harris's announcement, more than we've had over the last 8 years of our organization's existence.
Usha Vance, the wife of the Republican vice presidential nominee, is also of South Asian descent. Asian Americans are the fastest growing racial group in North Carolina. The majority of the 128,000 registered AAPI voters in our state are registered as unaffiliated.
UNC is looking at the future of its basketball arena. University leaders are considering several options on how to move forward. The options offered by a working group are to renovate the current Dean Dome, build a new one at the same site, move it to Bowles parking lot or Odom Village, or move it off campus to the Friday Center or Carolina North. Students we spoke with on campus say they'd like to see it stay.
Especially when we beat Duke, rushing Franklin Street would be so much harder getting there after we beat them. So it's really convenient to have it here on campus.
You got to think about it realistically, right? An architecture firm will look into the specifics, including the cost analysis. There's no timeline that's been set for making a decision.
Gotta love how they're thinking about how are we going to rush Franklin Street, because that's an important part, right? A report by a transportation nonprofit gives North Carolina roads bad marks. The report found traffic congestion is costing the average driver more than $860 a year, and roads in need of repair cost another $620 a year in additional vehicle costs.
North Carolina, as it continues to grow, faces significant transportation challenges, and providing a transportation system in North Carolina that keeps people safe, provides reliable access, and is a well-maintained system will require additional investment in the state's transportation system.
The report also says 5% of the bridges in our area are in poor condition, needing immediate repairs, with another 50% in fair condition, needing ongoing maintenance. It is 4:49 as we get your Thursday morning started. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, and our rain chances will increase as we move through the day.
We're looking at maybe a lunchtime sort of trend for some showers today. It looks like later in the afternoon it'll move on out. It's just going to be a quick little disturbance for today. We'll have a better chance for rain on Saturday, but Saturday doesn't look like a washout either, which is good news for folks who are planning to be out and about this weekend. We take a live look at Zebulon. It is quiet here. No rain yet. We're looking at mainly cloudy skies this morning. 66 degrees, our temperature in the Triangle, and our dew point's at 60. That's a little higher than the last few days. We've been holding it in the low to mid 50s, and we'll get back to that, but not in the next couple of days. Here we take a live look at satellite and radar, and you can see some showers affecting the mountains now, and closer to the morning commute, we'll end up seeing the potential for some rain. May see a rumble of thunder, but this is not going to be a big thunderstorm sort of event for us. Kick things off right now, and by 6 or 7, we start to see a few isolated showers, especially in our southern counties. This is noon. And then once we get really to, say, 2 or 3 o'clock, most of the rain is out, and we may see a little bit of sunshine peeking through by the time we get to the evening commute. An isolated shower does linger potentially in some of our eastern counties during the afternoon. And then it stays fairly cloudy on Thursday night. Here's a look at our temperatures if you're out and about around town today. 78 in Raleigh, 77 Durham, and 81 in Fayetteville. So our temperatures are pretty similar to what we've seen the last several days. Our humidity starts to creep up a little bit, especially Saturday, because this is the day that we'll have the best chance of seeing any showers and thunderstorms. Watch how it really takes a dive Sunday and Monday. We have another real nice fall feel in our forecast for Sunday, Monday, and for much of next week too. 86 is our normal high, and we're going to keep it below normal all the way into next week. We're going to get a nice shot of some reinforcing cool, dry air as we get into early next week behind Saturday's front. And you can see that here too. As a matter of fact, the only place in the country that's really seeing a lot of heat is the West Coast. You can see those yellow and orange colors there all the way from LA to Seattle. For us, we stay in the blue, and notice how it gets even darker as we get into early next week. So the cool weather sticks around for us. Our normal low is 66, and we'll be close to that for the next several days. We really end up seeing that drop Monday and Tuesday. Overnight lows are dipping into the 50s. Our next cold front comes on Saturday. We might start off with a thunderstorm late Friday night, and then a chance of some showers and storms on Saturday with a high of 83. But Sunday looks absolutely gorgeous. Coming up, we're going to walk through the timeline for that chance of showers and thunderstorms on Saturday. Pretty weather for us. A number of days in the 80s today and Sunday. Both days we'll see highs in the 70s.
Elizabeth, thanks. This fall, Amtrak is helping people out with travel to two popular events. The plan to make stops at both the State Fair and the Lexington Barbecue Festival.
And Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin will start in the team's season opener this weekend. How he's preparing for the big game against the Arizona Cardinals.